Hey guys, Shy Got Picks here. Hope everyone's doing well, having a good week. We're here to be breaking down Dana White's Contender Series Week 7, going over every single fight in the card. Last week's card, we absolutely killed it, smacking a plus 370 parlay. Confident we're going to cook something up for this one. This week's card is tricky. We got two very chalky fights, but the rest of the fights can really go either way. Nonetheless, we're here to watch some potential UFC stars and hopefully make some money on the way. Let's get right into it. For the first fight in the card, we got Rose Conceição versus Alexia Tainara. Conceição is 7-0, opens up as a negative 145 favorite, 27 years old, 5'5". Tainara is 10-1, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Opens up as a plus 115 dog, 26 years old, 5'4", with a 62.6-inch reach. This is a bit of a weird fight for me, but at the end of the day, we do need some new, fresh faces at 115. Rose Conceição is undefeated and the LFA champ, but, this girl's very underwhelming. She just does just enough to win, but nothing really ever stands out in her fights. Tainara, on the other hand, is a work in progress, but she's improving every fight. From the looks of it. On the feet, neither of them really have great technique whatsoever. Both throw looping strikes, but Tainara is more confident and does have a better job of pressuring. Rose honestly looks uncomfortable striking, and her form is bad. She throws from her hips with her chin hanging out there. Tainara's striking isn't pretty either, but she at least knows how to move forward and keep her opponent guessing. In the grappling, Rose has the edge in wrestling, but Tainara is improving there. So, Rose is strong in the clinch, but Tainara is scrappy and has some solid BJJ, especially where her back takes. If it hits the mat, I wouldn't be shocked if Tainara finds a submission. It's not the highest level fight by any means, but I'm leaning towards Tainara by decision. Rose just doesn't impress me whatsoever. I think Tainara's pressure and improvement will etch this one out. Ultimately, this is not, it's just, once you look at her tape, I'm sure you'll see what I mean. When I say this is the second LFA champion that we have coming into this that is just not impressive at all to me, and it's coming into the Dana White's Contender Series, and just I'm not expecting him to win, at least, is what I'm getting at. Give me Tainara by decision. Up next on the card, we got Kevin Vallejos versus Cam Teague. Vallejos comes into this 13-1, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He opens up as a negative 350 favorite. I believe he's around negative 400 now. He's 22 years old, 5'7", with a 68-inch reach. He's fighting Cam Teague, who's 7-0, plus 250 underdog, 26 years old, 6'0", so he is a lot taller, but we don't know his reach. For this one, I'm very hyped for this fight. Vallejos is a legit prospect. He's young, he's improving, and despite losing on a Dana White Contender Series, he showed some real potential. He's a counter striker, and his boxing fundamentals are very strong. He's at the Mexico PL now, getting some real training, and I think it's really paying off for him. Teague, on the other hand, is a wild pressure brawler. He's very fun to watch, but his skill set doesn't really match his style kind of thing. His strikes are wild, looping, and predictable. And here's the thing about Teague. This man has absolutely no head movement whatsoever. I've mentioned this before in a lot of videos, but man, Teague has no head movement whatsoever, like none. He just eats punches, and against a counter striker like Vallejos, I think this is a recipe for disaster for him. Vallejos is going to see everything coming and counter accordingly. I'm expecting a highlight reel KO here, guys. I'm so excited for this fight. Even if it goes past the first round, Vallejos has shown some good cardio and can handle pressure well. Plus, if he wants to mix in some wrestling, he can. Teague doesn't have a good ground game whatsoever, really, so Vallejos could take him down if he really feels like it. But I think Vallejos finds that chin and gets an early knockout. Give me Kevin Vallejos round 1 knockout. Up next on the card, we got Francesco Mazzeo versus Kevin Christian. Mazzeo comes into this 4-0, opens up as a plus 125 dog, 27 years old, 6'2". Meanwhile, Kevin Christian is 8-2, opens up as a negative 160 favorite, 29 years old, 6'7". So he is 5 inches taller than this guy, 80-inch reach. This guy's massive for the division. This one's going to be a wild one, but ultimately these guys are both very low level. But, the matchmaking here is pretty spot on, truthfully. Neither belongs at this level, but they're both aggressive brawlers, and it's going to be very fun to watch, truthfully. Mazzeo's got slightly better technique, but it's nothing to write home about. He just bites down on the mouthpiece and throws hooks, truthfully. Kevin, though, his striking is awkward as hell. He's all over the place, just flailing his arms. But he does have some natural power, and at the end of the day, this guy's 6'7" with 80-inch reach. Whoever finds the chin first will be probably winning this fight. Honestly, I think it's gonna be Kevin. Mazeo has terrible cardio, and at the end of the day, that reach is ridiculous. Mazeo also gasses out after 3 minutes, as what I've seen. While Kevin at least has experience going longer, even though his cardio isn't great either. Mazeo's 4-0, and let's be real, he's got lucky in a couple of those fights. Hewitt was on his way to a finish before landing an illegal E, and Mazeo was fading fast. Kevin's awkwardness and experience should give him the edge here. I'm picking Christian first round knockout, but man, this is going to be an ugly fight. It's not going to be one of those like, it's going to be very entertaining to watch, but we're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, give me Kevin Christian first round knockout. Up next on the card, we got Daniel Frunza versus Vadim Kutsi. Truthfully, I know I butchered that, but we're just going to go with Daniel versus Vadim. Daniel is 8-2. 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He opens up as a plus 180 dog. He's 30 years old, 6'1". Vadim is 17-1, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He opens up as a negative 240 favorite. He's 33 years old, 6'0". This one is going to be very tricky to call. Frunza's better than his record might suggest, but he's nothing too special. Kutsi on the other side, on the other hand, looks scary on paper, but once you actually watch him fight, it's very underwhelming. 17-1, you're like, oh man, this guy is experienced, you know? But he is very underwhelming. Both guys are strikers, but Frunza got the edge on the boxing. He keeps things very simple, sticking to the basics. Good jab, straight shots, solid power. He's efficient with his movements and pressures well, whereas Kutsi, he's low volume, throws single shots, and just doesn't look comfortable when striking. Kutsi got some power, that's for sure. Throws a lot of leg kicks, but he becomes very predictable really fast. That win over Nardiev, yeah, Kutsi was getting his ass kicked before landing a lucky overhand, you know? Frunza's pressure and fundamentals should give Kutsi all sorts of problems. Grappling, it favors Kutsi, but honestly, I'm not sure I trust him to use it. Frunza's grappling, I mean, it's not great, but he can defend well enough, you know? Kutsi's control on the ground is solid, but again, will he even try to wrestle here? You know, I'm not even sure. Overall, I think Frunza's pressure and straight punches will get it done. Round 2 knockout for Frunza, you know, especially if Kutsi doesn't mix down the takedowns. I mean, I know when you look at the odds, you're going to be like, this guy's crazy. When you look at the tempology, you're going to be like, this guy's crazy. But when you look at the fights, you know, it's a different story. Trust me. Sometimes you don't like to look at the odds or you don't like to look at the typologies. You just like to look at this tape study. You know, ultimately, are you actually watching these guys fight? And when you are looking at these guys fight, you're going to start realizing, you know, I don't know. I don't think Kutsi's that good. I don't think he's that good. And now let's check these odds too. Let's just think about it. Let's think about it. I'm pretty sure this guy's odds are going to be going down, right? Kutsi opened up as a negative 240 favorite. Now he's negative 220, negative 215. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. Give me Frunza round 2 knockout. Up next on the card, we got the main event, Bailey Schoenfelder versus Danilo Vovoidkin. Like I said, we're going to butcher these names. So we're going to go with Bailey versus Danilo. Bailey comes into this fight 5-0. 5-0 his last 5 fights, of course. He's opening up as a negative 650 favorite. 27 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Danilo is 6-0, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, of course. Plus 420 underdog. He's fighting out of Ukraine, 24 years old. And that's really all we know about him. We don't know his height. We don't know his reach based on typology. This is your typical heavyweight showdown. 2 undefeated fighters, both packing some serious power, but neither exactly elite. Bailey, he's got some upside, natural athleticism, and some skills, but he's raw. I think his future is at light heavyweight, honestly. Danilo, on the other hand, comes from a karate background, but his competition has been, let's just say, garbage. On the feet, I've got to lean towards Danilo, but only slightly. He's got some credentials and seems a little bit more comfortable when striking. Bailey, though, man, I mean, this guy hits like a truck. But his striking is very basic. He throws single shots and doesn't handle pressure very well. But here's the kicker. Danilo isn't exactly a defensive wizard either. You know, this guy get hit. This guy gets hit. Once Bailey lands, I'm not convinced Danilo is going to react well to it. Now on the ground, that's when Schoenfelder has the clear edge. His wrestling is solid, not outstanding, but definitely better than what you'd expect from a Ukrainian karate guy. If Bailey gets it to the mat, Danilo's in trouble, that's for sure. Bailey's got some strong ground and pound, and if he can get a dominant position like the mount or a crucifix, it's going to be lights out. Both guys have questionable cardio, but Bailey has proven he can push through his exhaustion. I wouldn't be shocked if Bailey gets clipped early. I mean, I really wouldn't be. But if he survives the initial storm, I think he takes over. Second round knockout is my call, especially if he mixes in some takedowns. I figure he's going to take the takedowns. Maybe Boykin survives one round and then he gets ground pound in a second. That's kind of exactly what I think is going to happen, actually. Give me Schoenfelder. He's definitely going to knock this guy out. That's what I'm thinking. You know, at the end of the day, he's going to take him down. He's going to get into a dominant position where he's going to be able to finish this fight. Fight ends inside the distance. Give me Schoenfelder, round 2 knockout. That's it for us here. Those are my breakdowns for the entire card. Do let me know who you guys got in the comments below. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, as these videos do take some time to make. If they happen to help you out, it'd be a great way to show some support. I love it when people tell me that they're making money off my picks. That plus 370 parlay hit lovely. Tell me if you tailed that. Again, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Stay up.